Have you ever wondered what would have happened if one desperate father had given up when 30 different doctors told him his son would never grow past 4 feet tall? Or if a small boy from Argentina had believed the coaches who said he was too fragile for professional football? Tonight's story reveals how the beautiful game's most incredible journey began not on pristine training grounds, but with a child injecting himself with painful needles every single night, dreaming of a future everyone said was impossible. In the forgotten neighborhoods of Rosario, where broken glass decorated the streets more than streetlights, a peculiar sight became local legend. Every evening, residents would gather to watch a boy so small he could walk under his friends' outstretched arms. Yet when he touched a football, grown men would stop mid-conversation to stare. They called him various names, some kind, others cruel, but one grandfather who'd seen Maradona play in his youth whispered something prophetic. "This one moves like the ball is part of his soul." The boy's father, Jorge, worked double shifts at a steel factory, his hands permanently stained with industrial oil, saving every peso for his son's medical treatments that cost more than most families' yearly income. His mother, Celia, sold handmade jewelry to neighbors, pretending business was good while secretly skipping meals so her children could eat. If you enjoy this soothing story of the legends of football, please like the video, subscribe to Legends of Football, and ring the notification bell, and write in comments from which country you are watching this video. The medical mystery that threatened everything started showing signs when Leo stood next to his classmates for school photos. Each year, the gap grew more pronounced. While his peers shot upward, he remained frozen in time, a 10-year-old's height at 13. Doctors ran endless tests, drawing blood until his arms were purple with bruises, scanning bones, measuring hormones. The verdict came wrapped in medical terminology, but the meaning was clear. Without treatment costing $900 monthly, Leo would remain child-sized forever. His father sat in their kitchen that night, calculator in hand, numbers never adding up, while Leo practiced juggling with a tennis ball in the hallway, unaware his dream was mathematical impossibility. Fate intervened through soccer itself, wearing the unlikely disguise of a Barcelona scout named Carlos Rexach, who wasn't even supposed to be in Argentina. He'd come to evaluate another player entirely, but arrived early to a youth match. What he witnessed made him forget why he'd traveled there. This miniature player was doing things that shouldn't be possible, nutmegging players twice his size, scoring from angles that defied geometry, controlling balls that professional players would have let bounce. Rexach called Barcelona immediately, his voice shaking with excitement, trying to explain what couldn't be explained. The board thought he'd been drinking until he sent a shaky handheld video that changed everything. The contract negotiation happened in a restaurant, with Rexach so afraid of losing this discovery that he wrote the basic terms on a paper napkin, both parties signing this unconventional document that would reshape football history. Barcelona agreed not just to sign Leo, but to pay for his medical treatment, house his family, and provide education. It was unprecedented. No club had ever invested so much in someone so young, so unproven, so medically uncertain. The hormone injections that followed were torture disguised as medicine. Every night at exactly 9 o'clock, Leo would retreat to his room, prepare the needle with practiced precision, and inject his thigh, rotating spots to avoid permanent scarring. He never cried, never complained, just gritted his teeth and pictured himself at Camp Nou. Barcelona meant exile from everything familiar. The 13-year-old who'd never been on an airplane found himself 5,000 miles from home, surrounded by Catalans speaking a language that sounded like Spanish played backward. La Masia, Barcelona's famous academy, was strict. Wake at 6, breakfast at 7, school until noon, training until evening, homework until bed. No exceptions, no excuses. Leo's roommate later revealed that for the first 3 months, he'd hear muffled crying every night. Homesickness so severe that coaches worried he might break psychologically before physically developing. Yet transformation happened gradually, mysteriously, magnificently. The treatments worked slowly. Centimeter by centimeter, Leo grew, not to great heights, but enough. More importantly, his unusual development created an unprecedented advantage. His low center of gravity, combined with supernatural balance, made him virtually impossible to dispossess. Defenders trained to handle normal-sized players found themselves grasping air. He moved like liquid mercury, flowing around obstacles rather than through them. Youth coaches started bringing senior team players to watch training, witnessing something that challenged their understanding of physics and physiology. Romance bloomed through handwritten letters crossing the Atlantic. Antonella, his childhood friend's cousin, became his anchor to Argentina, to normality, to who he was before football threatened to consume him. She wrote about university life, about their old friends, about the neighborhood dog that still waited by the field where Leo used to practice. He wrote about loneliness, about pressure, about dreams that felt simultaneously close and impossibly distant. Neither knew they were writing love letters. They thought they were just friends, staying connected. Years later, Antonella would reveal she'd kept every single letter, over 300 of them, in a shoebox that traveled with her through every move. Professional debut came wrapped in controversy and doubt. Established stars resented this quiet teenager occupying space in their sanctuary. Spanish media questioned whether Barcelona's investment was charity, disguised as strategy. Then came that first goal, assisted by Ronaldinho, and suddenly everyone understood. The Brazilian superstar, known for his ego, literally carried Leo on his shoulders, presenting him to 80,000 people as football's future. That image, the established king crowning his successor, became prophetic beyond anyone's imagination. The rivalry that would define a generation started innocently. Cristiano arrived at Real Madrid as the world's most expensive player, all swagger and silk. Leo was his opposite, quiet, small, almost invisible until the ball arrived at his feet. Their first encounters were respectful, even friendly, but media and fans demanded conflict, comparison, choosing sides. Every goal either scored was measured against the other. Every trophy weighed on scales of relative greatness. What nobody understood initially was how this competition would push both beyond human limitations, each forcing the other to evolve or be surpassed. Argentina became Leo's beautiful burden. Every tournament brought crushing weight, comparisons to Maradona, expectations of single-handedly delivering glory, criticism when humanity showed through superhuman talent. 3 finals lost in 3 years nearly broke him. The 2016 Copa America defeat triggered retirement announcement, Leo feeling he'd failed his nation despite being their greatest player. The country mourned like losing a war, children crying in streets, politicians begging reconsideration. He returned, but something had changed. The joy seemed forced, the weight visible in his movements. Fatherhood provided unexpected liberation. Thiago's birth coincided with Leo's most prolific scoring year, as if becoming responsible for another life freed him from self-imposed pressure. He'd leave training early for pediatrician appointments, skip optional team events for school plays, prioritize bedtime stories over commercial obligations. Critics said he'd lost hunger. Truth was, he'd found balance. His second son, Matteo, became famous for celebrating opponents' goals, keeping Leo humble, reminding him football was still just a game, even if the world insisted otherwise. Barcelona's betrayal cut deeper than any defeat. The club he'd served since childhood, that had saved his life, suddenly couldn't afford him. Financial mismanagement by executives who earned millions while destroying the institution left Leo as collateral damage. He offered to play for half his salary, then less, desperate to stay home. The final press conference became unwatchable. The man who'd never shown emotion publicly sobbing so hard he couldn't speak. His children confused why Daddy was sad after winning his game. Photographers later revealed they'd stopped taking pictures, feeling like intruders at a funeral. Paris never felt right. The city of lights seemed dim compared to Barcelona's warmth. Teammates more interested in fashion than football, fans who booed imperfection, media that criticized his wife's outfit choices more than analyzing his assists. Leo played professionally but not passionately, fulfilling obligations while his heart remained elsewhere. Then Qatar appeared on the horizon. One final chance at the only trophy that mattered, with an Argentine team that finally understood their role was supporting him, not expecting him to be superhuman. That December night in Doha, when the final whistle confirmed Argentina as world champions, time seemed to stop. Leo fell to his knees, not in celebration but in relief, 2 decades of pressure evaporating instantly. His teammates formed a protective circle, letting him process the moment privately before public celebration. The image of him sleeping while clutching the World Cup trophy went viral, a child finally receiving his Christmas wish after 20 years of being good. Miami represents rebirth, not retirement. America embraces him differently, as attraction rather than expectation. He plays with youngsters who grew up with his poster on their walls, now passing him balls in actual matches. His presence has transformed American soccer culture overnight. Suburban mothers who couldn't name another player wear his jersey to grocery stores. Children who preferred basketball now beg for soccer cleats. Local academies report 600% enrollment increases. The quiet philanthropy tells the truest story. Hospitals in Argentina mysteriously find their children's wards renovated, bills paid by anonymous donors. Growth hormone-deficient children worldwide receive treatment through foundations that never publicize their funding sources. Youth coaches in poverty-stricken neighborhoods discover new equipment arriving monthly, no return address, just enough to keep dreams alive. Leo never discusses charity, believing genuine generosity requires silence. Watching him now feels like sunset, beautiful, inevitable, impossibly golden. Every match might be his last, every goal a farewell gift. But rather than sadness, there's celebration in witnessing greatness age gracefully. Defenders half his age still look foolish, goalkeepers still dive wrong directions, physics still surrenders to his will. He plays now purely for joy, the same emotion that made a tiny boy in Rosario believe impossible dreams. The legend transcends statistics and trophies. It's about proving that size doesn't determine significance, that quiet strength conquers loud weakness, that persistence pays dividends patience can't calculate. Somewhere tonight, another undersized child is being told they're too small for their dreams. But they'll remember the boy who needed injections to grow, who cried himself to sleep in foreign countries, who lost everything before winning everything, who proved that giants come in all sizes. The grandmother who demanded coaches play her tiny grandson couldn't have imagined her faith would inspire millions, but perhaps she knew something we're only now understanding, that true greatness can't be measured, only witnessed. If you enjoy this soothing story of the legends of football, please like the video, subscribe to Legends of Football, and ring the notification bell, and write in comments from which country you are watching this video.